You may hear about the Missouri Senate often, but do you ever wonder what's really going on behind the scenes? All of us here have people at home that we are representing. All of us here have matters that we think are serious for the state of Missouri. So we are trying to do things in an orderly fashion, and we cannot continue to have this chaos. I'm Senate Majority Leader Cindy O'Laughlin, and I'm here to give you that honest view of Missouri politics. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast, Hard Truth with Cindy O'Laughlin. Welcome to my podcast, Hard Truth. I'm Cindy O'Laughlin, the Senate Majority Leader, and today is an unfortunate day, but one that I think a lot of us could see coming. So right now, our Freedom Caucus has decided to hold up the business of the Senate. And unfortunately, this means that the conservative measures that we are trying to get done in Missouri are now on hold. And I can tell you that this group of senators is more concerned about free press and their next election than they are about getting the business of the Senate done. Some of you know that I joined what used to be called the Conservative Caucus when I first came to the Senate. And I did that because I'm a business person, I've raised a family, I understand what it takes for the average working individual to prosper and raise their family. And I thought that we were going to work with the other senators and introduce bills that would be both fiscally conservative and socially conservative. I believe the family is the foundation of our state and of our country. But what happened was a few people in that group, one being Senator Eigel, decided that they would lead the group and basically that the other members of the group would do what he said. And his method turned what could have been progress in the Missouri Senate into continual failure. His method is either you do what I think is right, or I will hold up the business of the Senate. And eventually I left the group. The only way to be successful in the Missouri Senate is to work with the other senators. There's a reason that it functions in the way that it does. Today, Senator Eigel decided that we would bring up a measure called Initiative Petition Reform. This measure is supported by the majority of the Republican caucus. And what we are trying to do is be sure that rural voices in Missouri are heard, and we feel like right now that's not happening. So Senator Eigel wanted to circumvent the usual process of the Senate and bring it directly to the floor. Now, I'll run through the process quickly. It involves filing a bill. The bill is referred to a committee. That committee is made up of both Republicans and Democrats. It is scheduled for a hearing. The public is allowed to come and testify, giving you information that you might otherwise not know, either supporting or not. If the bill has enough support, it is then voted out of committee, sent to the President Pro Tem. He places it on the calendar, and then I bring it up on the floor for debate and consideration by the full Senate. Senator Eigel wants to do away with that process. And I find it absurd that a group called the Freedom Caucus wants to take away the freedoms of the public citizens of our state to weigh in on proposed legislation. So that, of course, was voted down after a lengthy amount of conversation on the floor. And now the group is filibustering so that the Senate cannot move forward. And they have stated that they will hold up the business of the Senate until basically we do what they say. So while you are waiting for us to address tax reform, education reform, utility regulation reform, and many other topics, the entire Senate is now on hold until we give in to these demands. I don't know how you feel about that, but I can tell you that the other senators don't appreciate or respect what is happening right now. And so for at least the foreseeable future, we are on hold, and our conservative measures will not be brought up for debate until we can get past this. I think you should remember that when you're listening to people running for another office and they tell you that they have good solutions for Missouri. Some of those solutions are not solutions at all. They're very self-serving. I appreciate you watching the podcast today. Thank you.